Well, hi, everybody, and welcome to our Zoom chat. We're pleased to have Elijah Hughes with us while on hiatus, as it were, at his home in Beacon, New York, a little bit north of New York City. Eli, good to see you, and good to see you're in good health.
Thank you. Good to see you guys too. I'm feeling good. It's just a crazy time we're living in right now.
It is, and for you in particular, somebody that's about to head off potentially into your professional life and realize your dream, we thought it'd be interesting to catch up with you on all that's going on. But first, what are you doing now to take up your days?
Hanging out with my sister, doing a lot of running here and there. Just some, home little exercises here and there. Watching a lot of Netflix. I don't play video games, so I don't really do that. So I'm just really hanging out.
Okay, no video games, which would be a big time killer for anybody at this time. I think people who previously didn't play them are kind of getting into
Yeah,
video
yeah,
games. But
yeah.
when you play the real NBA 2K, then that'll be your version of it.
Right.
Are you able to do anything basketball-wise right now?
I'm doing some ball handling stuff. I have a hoop in my backyard, so I'll go out there and shoot every now and then. But other than that, kind of just keep everything in the house.
If you noticed, Governor Cuomo is a basketball fan,
Yeah.
and he said, "Hey, I would love to be playing basketball too, but if you obviously by definition you can't be playing basketball during this time period of social distancing because if you could play without getting within 6 feet of somebody, you're not much of a player."
Exactly. He's right. He's right.
So hopefully there's somewhere where you can stay loose and get some shots up. So we want to get into
Right.
your decision and kind of what's next. Um, let's just hit the immediate part of it right now.
Mhm.
What are you being told and how are you approaching this next period for you leading up to, we hope this year, the NBA draft?
Everything's kind of up in the air. No one really knows, what's going to happen, how it's going to happen, when it's going to happen. It's just a big question mark right now. Um, I'm hearing it could be August. I'm hearing it could be kind of a virtual kind of thing like this. I'm just hearing multiple different things. And honestly, from my end, I'm just kind of taking it one day at a time. I can't really do anything about it, but control what I can control. And that's just trying to stay in the best shape as possible, I guess.
What about the evaluation process?
Right.
Because the combine, you have to figure that that's off. It isn't yet, but that is kind of after one of these early mileposts, which would be you hearing back from the draft committee in the league. Uh, do you feel like you can show how good you are by anything other than your game tape from this season? Looks like that's going to have to do your talking right now.
Right. Yeah. And that's just how it's going to have to be for right now. Like I said, I don't know what's going to happen with, team workouts and where I can go to work, stuff like that. So it's just a big question mark. But honestly, I don't know what really else to say, but it's just really just a giant question mark.
We talked during the year. To me, one of your great selling points is how great of a team player you were. And, your big scoring games could have been even bigger. You could have had 40 at Georgia Tech.
Right.
Well, you'd have to be at the game to kind of know that, right?
Yeah.
If you just sort of looking at a box score, you had 33 points, which is nothing to sneeze at.
Mm-hmm.
But you didn't. You could have filled up the stat sheet even more than you did this year, which was extraordinary.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
You want to play ball, right? And wouldn't you love the opportunity? I mean, obviously you're missing out on that right now, but you'd love to probably play in front of scouts again.
Yeah, for sure. I love playing basketball. So if I have opportunities to showcase my talents in front of, front office people and some scouts, that'd always be great for me. But it's like I said, it's just a giant question mark, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to do that this year.
Sure. What decisions do you have to make at this point, Eli, about the process? My understanding is you're keeping all your options open, but what does that entail relative to hiring an agent or not? And how can you and your family be advised properly right now?
The biggest thing is just taking everything one day at a time. Don't go too far ahead. That's probably the biggest advice I've been telling them. Coach has been telling me. Coach has told me when I talked to him. He just said, yeah, just be mindful of everything going on. Always know that you have a decision to come back. And that's probably been the biggest thing.
Now, he's well connected in the NBA. How else do you do that in terms of making those types of connections to at least get an accurate read on what your options are and what maybe your status would be?
Well, coach is somebody I trust. Like you said, he's well connected in this process in this game of basketball. He's been through this with guys. I don't think necessarily in this circumstances what we got going on in the world, but he's been here before and he's seen it. and he's somebody I trust with all this. So he's somebody I'm going to look to for advice.
Well, the thing about that, nobody's experiencing this, right?
Yeah.
Everything we're going through, the entire world is going through this for the first time, really.
Right. Exactly. It's crazy.
Are you talking to any friends, I mean, whether it's teammates here or people around the game about the situation you're in?
Yeah, and I got a couple friends back home I'm talking to, just about everything kind of thing. Some of my teammates, they know that's it's a crazy time we're in. Um, yeah, that's pretty much it.
You know, you don't strike me as somebody who's overly worried or concerned, but that's kind of, it seems to be a product of the way you approach everything, just kind of
Yeah,
one day or 1 hour at a time.
yeah, that's how I've been my whole entire life. I can't look too far ahead, can't get too high, can't get too low. You just gotta, stay at a nice medium, and just, always know that everything's gonna work out.
What's the appeal of the NBA for you right now, Eli? When you think about what this could be that you're getting in store for, and you're obviously trying to get checked out, it's every basketball player's dream. But what do you think of when you think of making basketball your living?
I think of when I was a kid, just growing up playing basketball. This is what I wanted to do. Like I wanted to make basketball my life, something that I can feed my family and help my family with doing every single day. So that's what I think of when I hear that word NBA or professional. It's just something that I dreamed of.
Do you think your approach kind of transitions well to being professional? Like, I think you're professional now, not in
Right.
the sense of being paid to do it, but in terms of the way that you day to day go about your place on the team and your leadership.
Right. I'm learning. No, I'm really, to be honest, I'm learning. We had guys like Carmelo Anthony and Deion Waiters come to some of our games, and they talk to us. I know a couple pros in the NBA overseas, and just their approach to things. They're just so professional at what they do, and just kind of the way they do it is just like, this is different than being a college student. The way they take care of their bodies, the way they eat, the way they transition from traveling city to city with games back to back. So that kind of thing, just being a pro, it's hard. It's not as easy as some people think sometimes. But I've had people I know who are going through it or been through it, and that's good to just lean on and talk to.
Where's your love of the game fit in that?
Right.
Some would say, hey, you have to love it in order to maybe, it's not as glamorous as maybe it comes out to be. You got to love it to go through all that.
Right. I love this game of basketball. I love the process. I love everything about it. I love the adversity. I love, whatever the case may be, whatever that has to do with the game of basketball. And I just love every part of it. It could be something like, we're losing a couple games we shouldn't be losing. We're going on a 5-game win streak. Those kind of things. Like, it's just my love for the game. I just love it.
We opened up to fan questions, as you know, and no less than Justin Knight. And we're all thinking about him as a guy who had a chance to represent Team Canada in the Olympics. He was one of the people who chimed in on Twitter, Elijah. And one of his questions a lot of people had asked as well, what is your most memorable moment about being a Syracuse basketball player?
Well, first of all, shout out to Justin. That's my guy. He's represented the Orange the best way you can represent an Orange. He's a great dude. But to answer his question, probably, I don't know. I have multiple, honestly. But
Hey, we got time.
well, to start with one, probably my redshirt year when we went to Detroit and we beat Michigan State and virtually, which was a home game for them in a crazy environment. They put me in the stands for that game because they had, I guess, no room on the bench. But I wasn't mad about whatever. But so I was in the stands and I was watching it. It was just crazy. It's a crazy environment. To see our guys like fight through all that, playing a really good Michigan State team at the time it was just awesome to be a part of, and then going to the locker room celebrating with them is something I'll never forget. And it was just great. We had a great run that tournament, so it was just great to be a part of that. And then probably playing wise, obviously, what comes to mind, the shot at Duke last year,
Yeah.
the shot, something I'll never forget. That was just awesome. That whole game was awesome. Crazy, crazy, crazy environment. And we went out there and we just took care of business. Guys stepped up, played real well, and it was just great to be a part of that.
It's funny, you talk about your shot at Duke, a 3-quarter court shot that went in. Now, I know you guys practice that, and you're the guy at the end of practice taking the half quarter, and you make a few of those here and there.
Yeah.
And the other ones are hitting the rim. I know you're close. But that particular shot has to be about as low percentage a shot as you've ever made, because it wasn't like you had time to square up and get yourself organized for it.
For sure. I remember Coach, the play he wanted was Tyus to go long, and he wanted me to loop around exactly how it went. Tyus didn't really go long. He was kind of just in the way, like in my area. And I got the ball. I lost it a little bit. And I just took it. I just threw it. And I just went in. And I looked around. People were jumping around and celebrating. It was just crazy. It was crazy.
A lot of fun, and those are two huge wins, all-timers in terms of pulling off improbable wins. I'm going to run through a few of the Twitter interaction,
Mhm.
and a lot of folks here, Elijah, are just kind of saying, hey, thanks for your time. They'd love to have you back.
Mhm.
And, from what I read that you're saying and hear you now, obviously, yes, the NBA is your dream, but you're going to keep everything open. And because of the uncertainty here, you're not saying no to anything right now.
Right. Like you said, I'm keeping everything open. With everything going on, there's a decision that has to be made, and I'm leaning on my parents, my coaches, and just some other close people around me to help me with that decision. And then,
Okay, so that answers Tom and Andy and a couple others that asked. LC asks on Twitter, was your goal one coming to Syracuse to get your degree or to get looked at by the NBA?
that's a good question. Kind of both, I guess, in a sense. Every kid who's playing basketball, I think for the most part, his dream is playing the NBA. So, if you're a child playing in the park or playing in any league or high level basketball, your goal is playing the NBA. But coming to a school like Syracuse has been great, best of both worlds. Great academic school. I've had the best support in my academics here, and it's been awesome. And then basketball, it speaks for itself. Playing for somebody like Coach Boeheim and the assistant staff that he has and the guys he has around us has just been great. So it's just the best of both worlds.
And because it's the best of both worlds, you don't have to choose, right?
Right,
You can
exactly.
approach,
Exactly.
both the degree and the NBA goal. How close are you to graduating, Eli?
I need like half a semester left. So yeah.
So speaking of keeping your options open, right? I mean, that's always going to be within your reach.
Right.
What interests you after basketball?
Just as long as I'm involved, I'm actually I love sneakers. So
I
anything
can see you working for one of them.
yeah, I could do anything. I love sneakers. I love branding and designing that kind of stuff. But also just sticking with the game. I want to coach. I have a coaching minor, and I want to just stay connected with the game of basketball. Whether I'm coaching little kids or middle school or high school, college maybe. I just want to stay connected to the game.
Do you miss that part of it right now? Because if the world were normal, you'd be interacting with people. You'd be at a real gym every day.
Right, yeah, for sure. It's kind of weird, being stuck in this house and not being able to do much, but it's just, we just gotta follow the rules the best we can and just try to pray for the best.
Well, let's just wrap it up with a little bit of real talk. I mean, you are in New Rochelle-ish and,
Right.
heading toward the city. I mean, you're not far from really the biggest hotspot in the world for
Mm.
COVID-19. What have you seen? Sounds like you and your family are staying safe. And what can you tell us being that close to it?
We're kind of close to where it's hot at right now. I know a couple people, unfortunately, who lost lives, and it's just really, really sad and scary, and it's something that we have to take seriously, and we just have to do our part best we can by staying in the house, social distancing, and all that kind of stuff. So it's sad and it's kind of scary.
Well, we're thinking about you in more ways than one. Certainly the human level. Great to see that you're
Thank
happy and healthy, but excited for the options that you have ahead, and hope you keep that jump shot smooth. Okay.
you. Thank you. Thank you.
Well, that's Elijah Hughes, folks, joining us, and he's always orange wherever he may be. So, Eli, best of luck from all of Orange Nation. Okay.
Thank you. I appreciate it.